we've got Aaron here. Aaron for sports. How's it going? Morning.
Yeah, very good morning to you, Rufai. Good morning to you, Doctor. Let's start it off with the Europa League. And in the Europa League yesterday, Ronaldo had a night to forget. It was meant to be his landmark night, understanding that he was on the cusp of actually doing something great. 700 goals was on the offing. He has 699 goals as we speak. And he was hoping that yesterday would be the opportunity. And uncharacteristic of Cristiano Ronaldo, in front of goal, he looked flustered. He looked nervous. He looked labored. And ultimately, hitting the bar and actually missing great opportunities made the game difficult for Manchester United. Ultimately, Manchester United won 3-2. Arsenal also had the game to remember, winning 9 out of 10 as we speak. AS Roma losing to Real Betis in that particular fixture, 2-1 among some of the standard fixtures in the Europa League right now. And you look at that and you say to yourself that at the moment, a lot of talks are about Cristiano Ronaldo, what he can do for Manchester United if they made a mistake by keeping him and not giving him the opportunity to be able to play. But he's 37 years of age. I'm sure by December, going into January, he will be engineering a transfer away from Manchester United. Because right now, this is not the Cristiano Ronaldo we know. He's bereft of confidence, he looks leggy, he looks jaded, and he's looking like a fish out of water. Okay, let's see how it goes. Away from that, I'm talking about his eternal rival, Lionel Messi. He's 35 years of age, finding a new lease to life at Paris Saint-Germain, and he has said that the Qatar 2022 World Cup will be his final hurrah, will be the last dance for him, and he's hoping that this particular World Cup will be the World Cup that he will be able to cement his legacy and win that holy grail. It has eluded him. He's got to the finals in time past, but he's not been able to do that. But with the Albi Celeste in rich vein of form coming to the World Cup, people are tipping the Seleção of Brazil and the Albi Celeste of Argentina to be the teams that might play in the finals. But there's still a long stretch ahead. 44 days to go to the World Cup. I must actually say we are building up to it and things are going crazy. I've been trying to get accommodation. Accommodation is actually
it's so expensive.
Extremely expensive.
Oh
extremely expensive. It's extremely expensive. And they are not apologetic about it.
It's normally like that even before the World Cup. Now coupled with the World Cup, it's double whammy.
And the fact that Qatar is having to raise the bar in terms of creating amenities and facilities for the World Cup is even making it more expensive. So, but let's move on.
Small place, very small place.
Now, this is the first time they've been talking about the carbon footprint of the World Cup because all the matches is happening within a stone throw of each other. Yeah. So you're not traveling from one city to the other. Russia was a nightmare, I must actually say. It was a nightmare because traveling was difficult, but that will not be a problem in Qatar. Now, away from that, quickly, let's talk about Erling Haaland, the boy wonder. Everyone has been talking about him and how he has been able to find the back of the net with relative ease. And actually, his transition from the Bundesliga to the Premier League has stunned everyone. He's gotten 19 goals right now. And you look at that and you say to yourself that this man is destined for the top. But the Daily Mail has actually brought out an exclusive that is coming at a huge price. Now, the huge price is Erling Haaland walks away with £845,000 a week as salary plus bonuses.
Aaron, apologize to me. Apologize to me. Didn't I tell you that £53 million deal looked too good to be true? There was something behind it. I told you here. And I'm correct. That's what I say. Apologize to me on TV. Apologize. I told you.
I agree. Probably I didn't see that one coming.
My God.
845,000. Some are saying Some are saying it's even as much as 865. But it's between 845 and 865,000 pounds a week is what he walks away with. And put it into context. He'll be on leave because Norway is not going to the World Cup. He will not be going to the World Cup. And for those 6 weeks, he will be earning this much. Just wrap your minds around it. Okay. Away from Erling Haaland, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have plummeted to downward spot in the latest FIFA ranking. No thanks to the fact that we've lost some key games. Let's not talk about the fact that we lost to Ghana at the World Cup. That actually hit us heavy because Ghana is right now above us. But losing to Algeria, the Desert Foxes of Algeria meant that we dropped 1 place from 31st to 32nd. And now I mentioned that the Punch actually did a breakdown of how much the Super Eagles would have earned at the last World Cup, and that was the painful part. The players were very lackluster against Ghana, both home and away. They were looking anemic in Abuja. And the fact was, a lot of people are asking the question, when they knew that they would have earned so much, the figure actually stands at about 4.5 billion. If the Super Eagles had qualified for the World Cup, that's how much they would have earned. If they had gone further, it would have even been more. And it's unfortunate that at the last World Cup, before they went for the World Cup, kudos to the Amateur Pinnick-led board, for the first time, the players got all their bonuses before going to the World Cup. And they promised them that same gesture this time around. They were hoping that that would be a tonic for the players to go out there and probably give an arm and a leg. That did not happen. The Super Eagles failed to qualify for the World Cup, and right now we're on national teat. Now, for this weekend in football, there are 2 matches that, if you're a football fan, you'll be looking forward to. One of them will be Bayern Munich against Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund are not in the best form at the moment, but certainly to serve up a very tantalizing afternoon this weekend. And also Arsenal, the swashbuckling Arsenal will be taking on Liverpool this weekend. On Sunday, everyone will be looking at the Gunners going against the Reds. Let's see what actually happens there. And Rufai, now let's turn our attention to Suzuka. One man might be crowned champion in Suzuka this weekend, but this is how Suzuka is this morning. The Japanese Grand Prix is heating up, and as we speak to you, it's all wet in Suzuka, and it's not really boding well for drivers. FP2 is actually going on. Schumacher is already out as we actually speak from the FP2 because he actually had a crash. Slippery surface as we speak, and we wish all the drivers all the best as they build up to what will be maybe a crowning and a defining moment for Max Verstappen. Now, by the way, Lewis Hamilton is hitting on Formula One for one particular reason, because the Red Bull team have actually overspent based on the salary cap. And Lewis Hamilton is saying they should hit down on them. All right, this is how they've qualified for the FP2. Fernando Alonso, then Sainz, then Leclerc. Finally, in boxing, what is almost turning into a show of shame. Of course, Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank Jr. This was supposed to be the bout that was reprising what happened 30 years ago. A lot of people were looking forward to this particular fight, and at the end of Matchroom has actually released a statement because he tried to engineer a move to Luxembourg or Malta to have this fight after Conor Ben actually failed a drug test because he took a reproductive fertility. He took a fertility drug that probably increases the testosterone by 600%, all in the bid to probably get a leg up against Chris Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. has done so much to reduce his weight because he wants this fight to happen at the O2. And he's really disappointed that Conor Ben has done the unthinkable. They were trying to hide it, but the Mail actually broke this particular news and all hell broke loose. They've tried to manage it, but there's no managing it. If a man tested positive, the unfortunate thing is that the British Boxing Board of Control, the BBCOC, have refused to still sanction Conor Ben, but the fight is not going on.
I mean, let me start with
Okay, go ahead.
Now, starting with boxing, the big story there is the Tyson Fury camp and the Anthony Joshua camp.
Doctor, I don't want to start on that one.
No.
Okay.
No, it's an important story.
Okay.
You've been appearing and disappearing. So I kept that story for you.
Okay.
For you to comment on it. You know, with Eddie Hearn saying that fight that was originally slated for December 3, tagged the Battle of Britain, is off. Because they've been given conditions that they cannot meet. Tyson Fury had given a Monday deadline about 2 weeks ago, a 5 p.m. deadline, and that did not happen. So I just wanted your comment on that. No,
okay.
Let me finish.
All right.
The second issue is about the Eagles, the Super Eagles dropping to 31 on FIFA ranking behind Senegal, Morocco, and Tunisia. What is the country we're meeting next? I think we have a match with another country.
Yeah, we have Portugal in the offing.
November 17 or so. When I told you the other time that this your man, this Pesero, boasting that, he will win the Nations Cup for Nigeria next year, I said, this man doesn't seem to be ready. The people who criticized him when he was recruited, they seem to have a point. I think you try to defend him and all of that. Okay, under his watch as Super Eagles coach. Now we have dropped even further. And the statement that was put out there was that this was because of the Algeria match that we lost. So these friendlies, they also matter. We can't be losing one friendly after the other, and the NFF and their coach will be telling us, don't worry, there is hope for Nigeria. This is a country that used to do very well, not just at the friendly level, but also international matches and, tournaments. We don't seem to be getting it right. So I hope that the new NFF man, I hope he has a blueprint for him to return Nigerian football to winning ways. The third point, I don't think you should write off Cristiano Ronaldo. On this program, we've discussed Cristiano Ronaldo many times. Since Eric Ten Hag came to Man U, he has started a match only once.
Yes.
Before he lost to Brentford, right?
Yeah.
And he has made it very clear that he wants to be in the Champions League. He doesn't want to play loser's game, okay? But here he is. Even all the teams in Europe, it's like there was a conspiracy against him, okay? And then even in the club that he's playing for, you won't play him in the first 11, you will bring him as a substitute. Sometimes you will just put him on the bench. So the man himself, let's cut him some slack. He may be going through some kind of, frustration by the fact that, they are putting him aside. And in the Omonia Europa League that you are talking about, that he didn't do well. No, on the contrary, I think he did well. Everybody saying Marcus Rashford is the hero of that match. But, Cristiano Ronaldo provided the necessary assist
Doctor,
for Marcus Rashford to shine.
No, the point is this, Doctor.
So if he leaves Manchester United, nobody should be surprised.
No, he scuffed his shot. He scuffed a good shot to probably take a crack at the goalkeeper of Nicosia. And he just fell kindly for Marcus Rashford. Ronaldo, the typical Ronaldo, is a beast when he actually plays football. We are seeing almost a chicken. We are seeing someone that doesn't look like the Cristiano Ronaldo. That is why a lot of people criticize, and they are putting the blame on Manchester United.
If you don't put him to the test,
exactly.
They
are putting the blame on Manchester United for refusing Ronaldo a move out of Manchester United. Because if the coach will not use the player, why keep him? Because you're almost devaluing the player.
Can I just quickly say something? Go ahead.
I'll get back to that. But moving on to the Anthony Joshua, let me start off from the Anthony Joshua. It's unfortunate that Eddie Hearn doesn't want this fight to happen. I've said it here before, that Eddie Hearn has been one of the biggest undoings of Anthony Joshua, because he has looked at Anthony Joshua. Maybe he knows what we don't know. And he has picked some fights and he has decided to put off some fights. He knows that if Anthony Joshua goes into that particular bout against Tyson Fury might destroy his career and actually reduce his value in boxing. That is why Eddie Hearn probably has looked for ways. He has tried to pass the buck because they had already agreed. All the broadcast rights had been agreed, both in the UK and in the US. Everything had been agreed. All they needed to do was to come together. And this is the same Eddie Hearn that has always spoken about the fact that he can make a fight happen in 48 hours. And he comes out to say that Tyson Fury and his camp did not give him enough time to actually put up this fight. Okay. And you look at it, they don't want that fight to happen. If they do, they will have that fight happen. But it's unfortunate that has actually gone right now.
I mean, it's valid.
Because Tyson Fury will fight somebody on the 3rd of December.
Valid point. They might want to guard Anthony Joshua and all of that. But I want to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I think one thing we are not accepting is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo is at the tail end of his career. And he needs to start transiting. I'm excited about that story with Messi saying that Qatar is his final dance. And the better Ronaldo starts to understand that and incorporates that. And I give it to him. Because not too many people at the age of 36 going to 37 are playing in top flight leagues. But I remember an interview he had many years ago where he says, I think it was Piers Morgan that asked him, do you want to go to America? I said, no. He said, I want to end in top league in Europe. Secondly, let me make my point. Recently, he's been seeing a certain psychologist called Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson. And part of the conversations they had, as revealed on Piers Morgan's show, was conversations about sustaining legacy and the tail end of his career. You cannot take that away. Coupled with what is happening in Man United as a team, him not getting the playing time and all of that, coupled with him losing his child.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of psychological cocktail. But one thing we have to start preparing for is the fact that this stellar career that came on board 2004, if my memory serves me right, that game against Wigan was his first game in the Premiership, is fast wrapping up.
Now the point is this, before I wrap it up on Cristiano Ronaldo, his move to Manchester United was a very bad deal. The signs were on the wall, the handwriting was on the wall. Sir Alex Ferguson convinced him when he was in his private jet coming to England that rather than go to the city of Manchester, rather than go to Manchester City, go to Manchester United. A big mistake. Because from the get-go, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not fancy him. Eric Ten Hag has not fancied him. Ralf Ragnick did not fancy him. These are people, because he would have moved to Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel called Ralf Ragnick and said, do you think Ronaldo will be a good fit for my team? And I said, don't touch him with the 10 football. And that was the end of that particular one. Tuchel frustrated the team. But this is a man that scored over 20 goals last season. They should have given him the opportunity to either start for the team, but the man has decided to go for younger players because of speed and pace, which I understand. But right now, everybody is losing.
Anyway, the thing to note about Manchester United is that since Alex Ferguson left, that team has not been able to find its rhythm. And it's unfortunate that that is so. Even if it tells us one thing, that individuals matter, that one individual can make a difference.
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.